Let's look at the world, and the world sits in our phones. We're Uberized, we're urban clapped, and those are some very simple examples. But those two make sense in the current scenario. Specifically when we are urban clapped. There are specialists who are available, today they are available at a price. They service you, they service somebody else. Way back, 4-5 years back, many ITS organizations, many other organizations moved to the outsourcing era. So the Kelly services, the manpowers, they all came up and they started handling outsourced manpower, which was viewed as non-core activities. Then the strategy of flexible staffing came in. Flexible staffing, the whole concept came in because of skill shifts. Because companies could not handle skill shifts, they decided to pass that challenge on to the outsourcer, right? So the outsourcer handles the risk and we handle our delivery. But the reality remains that is the future. You need people to come in and go because projects will scale up, projects will go off. The challenge remains, are we ready as organizations and as legal frameworks and as cultural frameworks to work with the gig players? So how do you imbibe an organization culture of diversity in a gig player? In an employee, you drive it through his head or her head, right from the day they join, through orientations, through value statements on the board, through reprimand mechanisms, you drive a culture in. With the gig player, driving that culture in means when you're bringing in the gig player, your screening levels should be able to tell you that this person who's coming in as a gig player will fit in culturally with you. So that's where your readiness is not there. That's where the readiness is required. And I've seen situations there in a large organization, and this is an example of social media, where a third-party employee who claimed to be working for the IT company because it was outsourced actually went and put a derogatory comment on Facebook, which was picked up by social media, and when it was linked back to the organization, right? And there were people who actually came back to say, is this the culture that you're driving in your organization? But in reality, that was not an employee, it was a gig worker. Now in that scenario, and those are challenges that you have to start fixing very, very quickly. Second is your compliance frameworks. Copyright frameworks, because that gig player will not only work for you, may also go and work for your competitor. Maybe not then, maybe 6 months later. So how do you handle proprietary information? How do you handle because they would have access to a lot of systems and all. So those are elements. One is the cultural element and the other element is the workplace security. Those are things that organizations have to really think through in getting ready to work with the gig players.